Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 2, Chapter 1, Verse 1. Shri Shuka Uvacha Varyaneshate Prashna Kruto Lokahitam Nrupa Atmavisammatam Punsa Shrota Vyadishu Yah Para.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, "My dear king, your question is glorious because it is very beneficial to all kinds of people. The answer to this question is the prime subject matter for hearing, and it is approved by all transcendentalists."
Text 2. Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nruna Santi Sahasrashah Apashyatmatma Tattvam Gruheshu Gruha Medinam.
Translation. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor.
Text 3. Nindriya hiyate hridaye naktram vyavayena cha vavayah divacharte yaha rajan kutumba bharanena va.
The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime either in making money or maintaining family members.
Text 4. Deha patra kalayadva sanya atma sanyasva astapi tesham pramatto nidam pashyannapi na pashyati.
Persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body, children, and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their inevitable destruction.
Text 5. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagwaneshwaro Harihi Shrotavyah Kirtavyascha Smartavyasche Chatabhayam.
O descendant of King Bharata, one who desires to be free from all miseries must hear about, glorify, and also remember the personality of Godhead, who is the super soul, the controller and the savior from all miseries.
Text 6. Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Sarvadharma Parinishtaya Janmalabha Param Pumsam Ante Narayana Smriti.
The highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life.
Text 7. Praneya munayo rajan vruta vidishe datah Nirgunyasthara sma gunanu katane hare.
O King Parikshit, mainly the topmost transcendentalists who are above the regulated principles and restrictions take pleasure in describing the glories of the Lord.
Text 8. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Sammitam Atitavan Dvaparadau Pitru Dvepayanadaham.
At the end of the Dwapara Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas from my father, Srila Dvaipayana Vyasadeva.
Text 9. Parinishthitopi nairgunya uttama slokalilaya gruhitacheta rajarshe akyanam yadaditavan.
O saintly king, I was certainly situated perfectly in transcendence, yet I was still attracted by the delineation of the pastimes of the Lord, who is described by enlightened verses.
Text 10. Tadaham te pidasyami mahapaurushiko bhavan yasya shraddhatamasu syanmukunde mati sati.
That very Srimad Bhagavatam I shall recite before you because you are the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna. One who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord, the giver of salvation.
Text 11. Etan vidyamananam ichim ukto bhayam yoginam nruna nirnitam hare namanukirtanam.
O King, constant chanting of the holy name of the Lord after the ways of the great authorities is the doubtless and fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from all material desires, those who are desirous of all material enjoyment, and also those who are self-satisfied by dint of transcendental knowledge.
Text 12. Kim pramatasya bahubihi parokshorharya neriha varam muhartam viditam ghatate shreyashe yataha.
What is the value of a prolonged life which is wasted, inexperienced by years in this world? Better a moment of full consciousness because that gives one a start in searching after his supreme interest.
Text 13. Khatvango nama rajarshir gnana veyattamihayushah muhurtat sarvamrutsarja gatavana bhayam harim.
The saintly king Khatwanga, after being informed that the duration of his life would be only a moment more, at once freed himself from all material activities and took shelter of the supreme safety, the personality of Godhead.
Text 14. Dvapyetahir kauravya saptaham jivita vidhi upakalpavya tatsarvam tavad samparayikam.
Maharaj Parikshit, now your duration of life is limited to 7 more days. So during this time, you can perform all those rituals which are needed for the best purpose of your next life.
Text 15. Anantakale tu purusha agate gata sadvasah chindat asanga sastrena spruha dehanuye chatam.
At the last stage of one's life, one should be bold enough not to be afraid of death, but one must cut off all attachment to the material body and everything pertaining to it and all desires thereof.
Text 16. Kruhat pravijito dhira punyatartha jalaplutah sucho vivekti asino viditva kalpatasane.
One should leave home and practice self-control. In a sacred place, he should bathe regularly and sit down in a lonely place, duly sanctified.
Text 17. अभ्यसेन मनसा शुद्धं त्रिवद् ब्रह्माक्षरं परम् मनो यच्छेजित श्वासो ब्रह्म बीजं विस्मरन्.
After sitting in the above manner, make the mind remember the three transcendental letters A, U, M, and by regulating the breathing process, control the mind so as not to forget the transcendental seed.
Text 18. नियच्छेद विषयोऽप्याक्षान् क्षान् मनसा बुद्धिसारथिः मन कर्माभिराक्षिप्तं शुभार्थे धारयेद्विया.
Gradually, as the mind becomes progressively spiritualized, withdraw it from sense activities, and by intelligence, the senses will be controlled. The mind, too absorbed in material activities, can be engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead and become fixed in full transcendental consciousness.
Text 19. तत्रेका वयं ध्याये दिव्यच्छन्नुनेन चेतसा मनो निर्विश्यं युक्त्वा ततः किञ्चन स्मरेत् पदं तत्परं विष्णोर्मनो यत्र प्रसीदति.
Thereafter, you should meditate upon the limbs of Vishnu one after another, without being deviated from the conception of the complete body. Thus, the mind becomes free from all sense objects. There should be no other thing to be thought upon, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is the ultimate truth. The mind becomes completely reconciled in Him only. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please forgive me any mispronunciation.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So very beautiful recitations of Sanskrit and all this beautiful Srimad Bhagavatam. So very pleasant. Thank you so much. Okay, so we shall enter into the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I shall share my screen. Okay, thank you so much for giving all of your association to me and giving me an opportunity to speak a few words. Okay, so before we enter into Srimad Bhagavatam, so we shall start with Mangalacharan prayers. Oh. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांशं श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांशम्। हे कृष्ण करुण सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शुभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकास स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये शृण्वतां स्वकथाः कृष्णः पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्त्वह्य भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृसताम् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ते चांशकलाः पुंसः कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयम् इन्द्रारिव्याकुलं लोकं मृडयन्ति युगे युगे इदं भागवतं नाम प्राणं ब्रह्म संहितम् इदं भागवतं नाम प्राणं ब्रह्म संहितम् अधीतवान् द्वापरादु पितुद्वैपायनादहम् कृष्णे सुदामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह खलु न श्रुषामेष पुराणात् क्वजनोदितहम् कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्ग्रये अत विश्वेश विश्वात्मन् विश्वमूर्ते स्वकेशु मे स्नेहपाशमिं चिन्निध्वं पाण्डुषु विष्णुषु त्वयि मेनन्यविषया मधुर्मदपते सकृत् प्रतिमद्वाहतरद्धगङ्गेवघ्नुदन्वतीं श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण सखा विष्णु ऋषभावनिध्रुग्राजन्योंशिदहनानपोर्घवीर्य गोविन्द गोद्विजसुराट्यहरावतार योगेश्वर किल गुरो भगवन् नमस्ते 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 तुलयामलवेनापि न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं भगवत्सङ्गसङ्गस्य मत्येनां किमुतहर्षः पुनश्च भूयात् भगवत्यनन्ते रतिः प्रसङ्गाश तदाश्रयेषु महस्तुयां यामुप्यां सृष्टिं मैत्रस्य सर्वत्र नमो द्विजेभ्यः ॐ नमो भगवते राधा गोविन्दाय नमः हरे कृष्ण Okay, so thank you so much everyone. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto and the first chapter, verse number 12. So here, Sukadeva Goswami, he is speaking to Parikshit about the Krishna Katha, how much time it needs to hear and to make the life perfect. So he was saying that he has received this knowledge from his father at the end of the Dwapara Yuga. Aditwan Dwaparadu Pitu Dvaipayanadaham. That is, Idam Bhagavatam Nam Puranam Brahma Samhitam Aditavan Bhaparadu Pitudvaipayanadaham. And then that knowledge, even though Sukadeva Goswami, he was a Parinisti, he has taken that Srimad Bhagavatam and he has relished. That is, Guhita Cheta Rajasya Akyanam Yad Aditavan. And he has studied Srimad Bhagavatam. And that one, it will detach a person, whoever takes the study, from the material world completely and then elevate oneself into the spiritual planets. So likewise, what the Goswami is saying, so it is beneficial for all the people who are already liberated and are also the yogis who are all desiring for the liberation from this material world. This is all auspicious for everyone. It is Ete Nirvidhyamananam Ichitam Akuto Bhayam. Ete Nirvidhyamananam Ichitam Akuto Bhayam. Yogyam Dopa Nirnitam Hare Nama Anukirtanam. So that is the 11th verse. So Yoginam Dopa Nirnitam Hare Nama Anukirtanam. It is auspicious for everyone. It is the Akuto Bhayam, whoever takes the shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So they do not have to fear about anything else. So now later on, after hearing that Parikshit Maharaj, he has got only 7 days in his life. So now, in order to encourage Parikshit Maharaj, so Sukadeva Goswami is saying about how much time one can live. So here we shall recite verse now. Kim pramattasya bahubihi parokshai hayanaihiha varamuhurtam viditam gatate shreyase yataha. Kim pramattasya bahubihi. Kim pramattasya. So what is of the bewildered? Bahubihi, by many. Parokshaihi, hayanaihiha. So inexperienced hayanaihi iha, so many years. Inexperienced and so many years. Iha, in this world. Varamuhurtam viditam, that is better a moment with consciousness. So what to speak? Kim pramattaihi bahubihi, kim pramattasya bahubihi parokshaihi hayanaihi ha. So here Sukadeva Goswami is saying, what is the use of so many years living here in this material world without proper consciousness? So it requires varam muhurtam viditam ghatate shreyase yataha. It requires just only a muhurta time, that is a great benediction. A moment viditam ghatate shreyase yataha. One can try for in the matter of the supreme interest by that muhurtam, varam muhurtam viditam. That is the better. It is like a great benediction for a intelligent soul. So kim pramattasya bahubihi parokshai hayanaihiha varam muhurtam viditam ghatate shreyase yataha. So translation for this verse is, what is the value of a prolonged life which is wasted, inexperienced by years in this world? Better a moment of full consciousness, because that gives one a start in searching after his supreme interest. So with full consciousness, even one moment, a moment is sufficient. So Sukadeva Goswami is encouraging Parikshit here. So purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Sukadeva Goswami instructed Maharaja Parikshit about the importance of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord by every progressive gentleman. In order to encourage the king, who had only 7 remaining days of life, Srila Sukadeva Goswami asserted that there is no use in living hundreds of years without any knowledge of the problems of life. Better to live for a moment with full consciousness of the supreme interest to be fulfilled. The supreme interest of life is eternal, with full knowledge and bliss. Those who are bewildered by the external features of the material world and are engaged in the animal propensities of the eat, drink, and be merry type of life are simply wasting their lives by the unseen passing away of valuable years. We should know in perfect consciousness that human life is bestowed upon the conditioned soul to achieve spiritual success. And the easiest possible procedure to attain this end is to chant the holy name of the Lord. In the previous verse, we have discussed this point to a certain extent, and we may further be enlightened on the different types of offenses committed onto the feet of the holy name. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu has quoted many passages from authentic scriptures and has ably supported the statements in the matter of offenses at the feet of the holy name. From Vishnu Yamala Tantra, Srila Jiva Goswami has proven that one can be liberated from the effects of all sins simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Quoting from Markandeya Purana, Sri Goswamiji says that one should neither blaspheme the devotee of the Lord nor indulge in hearing others who are engaged in belittling a devotee of the Lord. A devotee should try to restrict the vilifier by cutting out his tongue, and being unable to do so, one should commit suicide rather than hear the blaspheming of the devotee of the Lord. So the conclusion is that one should neither hear nor allow vilification of a devotee of the Lord. As far as distinguishing the Lord's holy name from the names of the demigods, the revealed scriptures disclose Bhagavad Gita 10.41 that all extraordinary powerful beings are but parts and parcels of the supreme energetic Lord Krishna, except what the Lord himself. Everyone is subordinate. No one is independent of the Lord, since no one is more powerful than or equal to the energy of the Supreme Lord. No one's name can be as powerful as that of the Lord. By chanting the Lord's holy name, one can derive all the stipulated energy, synchronize it from all sources. Therefore, one should not equalize the supreme holy name of the Lord with any other name. Brahma, Shiva, or any other powerful god can never be equal to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. The powerful name of the Lord can certainly deliver one from sinful effects. But one who desires to utilize this transcendental potency of the holy name of the Lord in one's sinister activities is the most degraded person in the world. Such persons are never excused by the Lord or by any agent of the Lord. One should therefore utilize one's life in glorifying the Lord by all means, without any offense. Such activity of life, even for a moment, is never to be compared to a prolonged life of ignorance, like the lives of the tree and other living entities, who may live for thousands of years without prosecuting spiritual advancement. Shil Prabhupada ki jai. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada is very beautifully explaining. One has to utilize his time very effectively. So by the sunrise and sunset, everyone's life is being taken out by so Ayur Hariti Vaipumsam Vujjana Astancha Ennasau Tasyardhet Chununita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Except the devotees of Krishna who are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna Katha, except their lives, everyone else's life is being reduced by the sunrise and sunset. So that is no use such kind of just eating, sleeping, and mating. So one has to utilize, and also here Prabhupada also mentioning about the chanting the holy names without any offenses. So this is Apanna Samsritam Ghoram Yennama Vyavaso Ghranan Tatra Sadhya Vimutyeta Yad Bhivemi Swayam Bhayam. And by the name, whatever the name we hear, Yennama Vyavaso Ghranan, Avyavaso Ghranan, just by accidentally also, Tatra Sadhya Vimutyeta Yad Bhivemi Swayam Bhayam. So it would relieve from the material clutches of this material world. Yad Bhivemi Swayam Bhayam. That is, even the bhayam, the personified, the fear personified also will be fear of that name, will be fearful by that name. So one has to chant very carefully when we are chanting. And the Lord also says that Yennamancha gruhnati loko brutche krutagasi sa asadvataha tatkirtim hanti tvachim ivameha. So whoever is taking my name, and if they are making any offenses, Yennamanicha gruhnati loke britya krutagasi. So asadhuvada tatkirtim. So whoever is not acting like a sadhu, this is asadhuvada tatkirtim. Hanti tvachim ivamayeha. And they will be so like a disease on the skin. As soon if we do not remove it, it would spread. So that kind of disease needs to be immediately cleared out. So if anyone is blaspheming these names of holy name, or if not properly attentive chant, so Krishna says that it needs to be removed from that place. So this was also Lord spoken when Jay and Vijay are just unknowingly they have stopped this for Kumaras. At that time, Lord spoke these words to Kumaras. So that is the glories of the holy name. So one has to chant without any offenses. So this was also explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in the 8th chapter, Adi Leela 8th chapter, very beautifully. All these 10 offenses. That one we can go whenever there is a chance. So that is the holy name. And Prabhupada also mentioning about the from the Markandeya Purana. So if anyone is about the blaspheming of a devotee, we should not hear. First of all, we should not keep ourselves within that position. And even if we say, immediately, if we cannot cut the tongue of that person vilifier, then we must come out. And Prabhupada is quoting that one. One should commit suicide rather than hear the blaspheming of the devotee of the Lord. So it is better we not keep ourselves in such kind of scenarios or circumstances. Always stay among the devotees and serving the Vaishnavas. Then only our spiritual life is progressive. When we are with the devotees, Mahatam Bahumananam Denanam Anukampaya Maitra Chevatma Tulyeshu Yemena Yemena Cha. If you are among the devotees, for the greater souls, we serve them, and for the who are not yet developed or kanistadikaris, we help them. Denanam Anukampaya Maitra Chevatma Tulyeshu, and make friendship with the equal-minded devotees. So that way, Yemena Yemena Cha, and also following regulative principles. Yemena Yemena Cha, just what we are doing, what we are speaking. Otherwise, Prasanga Majaram Pasham Atmana Kavayo Viduhu. This is Prasanga Majaram Pasham. If we are speaking unnecessarily, it would entangle us into this material world. Okay, so that we need to be very careful. Even though it is not possible to commit suicide or cut the tongue of a person in this is the Kali Yuga, but we can do whatever is in our limits. But even if we do it, we have Shastric reference here. And also here, Brahm, and no one is greater than or equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So just by chanting the Lord's holy name, one can derive all stipulated energies, synchronized from all sources. Therefore, one should not equalize the Supreme Holy Name of the Lord with any other name. So even anyone is Dho Bhota Sargho Lokesmin Daiva Asura Evacha. There are two kinds of people on the planet. There, Daiva, Asura, demons and demigods. Vishnu Bhakta Smruta Deva, and who are the devotees of the Vishnu? They are the Devas. Asuraha Tad Viparyayaha. And who are not Vishnu devotees, then there is no other exceptions. Everyone belongs to other opposite category to the demigods or Devas. And also here, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, they are the Gunavataras. They are the Gunavataras. And also Lord, he incarnate himself like a Vishnu, and also keeping Brahma and Shiva in his control in order to maintain Narayane Tadidam Vishmahitam Grihita Mayuruna. So it is said in the Sujami Tanyoham Haro Harati Tadvashaha Vishwam Purusha Rupena Paripati Trishakti Druk. So likewise, so Sujami Tanyuktoham, he Sambhavami Atmamaya, so he appeared with his internal potency. Sujami Tanyuktoham Haro Hariti Tadvashaha. Brahma and Shiva are there in the control of Vishnu and in the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishwam Purusha Rupena Paripati Trishakti Druk. and he maintains this universe in the form of Purusha. We have got Purusha forms. One is the Virat Rupa. All this universe has been part of the Virat Rupa's body, and then it is occupied, and he keeps on expanding, so that even we hear the news of this universe that it is expanding. That is due to the Virat Rupa, Krishna's Virat Purusha. Apart from that, the Lord has entered into each and every individual as a super soul, that is Ksharodakasai Vishnu, and Garbhodakasai Vishnu is the Lord from whose all these small incarnation, all the incarnations of the Lord, Gunavataras, Kalavataras, everything emanates from. Rupam yedad avbodha rasodayena shashvanyuvritta tamasa sad anugrahaya ado gurihitam avatara shateka bijam yennavi padma bhavanad ahamavirasam. So that Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu is the source of all other incarnations. Avatara Shateka Bijam. So that Lord has come as Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. And on top of that, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu came from Karnodaka Sai Vishnu. So that is, and we see where Gunavatara, so we never should not compare with Brahma and Shiva or any other demigod. So they are not equal to the Supreme Lord. So by here chanting the name of the Lord, all sinful effects will be completely cleared out. Prabhupada is beautifully mentioning about all these things. This is also holy name in one. Sinister activities is and also the powerful holy name of the Lord can certainly deliver one from sinful effects. But one who desires to utilize this transcendental potency of the holy name of the Lord in one's sinister activities is the most degraded person in the world. So we should not misuse that, committing on the strength of the holy name. We should not do any sinful activities. That is very, very dangerous. They are never excused by the Lord or by any agent of the Lord. So very beautifully explained Prabhupada here. So likewise Prabhupada explaining, so such activity of life, even for a moment, is never to be compared to a prolonged life of ignorance, like the lives of the tree. Tarvah kim na jivanti, vastraha kim na suchinchita, nakadanti na mehyamti, kim grame pasvopare. The trees are living for so many years. Bellows are breathing. The blacksmith or tinsmith bellows are breathing. And also these animals, they are also releasing this semen. So likewise, Saunaka, they say about, instead of hearing Krishna Katha, they are just simply wasting their lives. Tarvah kim na jivanti, vastraha kim na susinchita, na kadanti na mehamti, kim grame pasopare. Just animal also do that same thing. So likewise, so what is the use? Like the lives of tree and other living entities who may live for thousands of years without prosecuting spiritual advancement. That is very beautiful purport. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is encouraging Parikshit here. Kim pramartasya bahubhihi parokshay hainaihi param muhurtam viditam ghatate shreyasa yataha. Even just a muhurta time is a great benediction. One can become perfect if he is fully conscious of the Supreme. So we shall quickly enter into next verse. So now Sukadeva Goswami is giving an example with the Rajashi Katwanga. How he has utilized a Muhurta time, and he became perfect, and he attained the back to Godhead. He went back to Godhead. So this is Katwango Nama Rajashihi Jnatva Ihayushaha Muhurtatvat Sarvam Usrujya Gatavan Abhyam Harim. He has attained the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Katwanganama Rajashi. So Katwanganama, he is the Rajashi in the Ikshvaku dynasty. Jnatva Yayittam Ihayushaha. And by knowing his duration in this world, Ayushaha, about his life, what is that? How much time? It is Muhurtam Sarvam Muhurujya. That is just only a moment of time. And then what he did? Sarvam Musrujya, he left everything quickly. Gatavan Abhayam Harim, and later on he had undergone Abhayam Harim under the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Katwanganam Rajashihi, Jnatpayetta Mihayushaha, Muhurtatva Sarvam Usrujya, Gatavan Abhayam Harim. So, translation for this was the saintly king Katwanga, after being informed that the duration of his life would be only a moment more, at once freed himself from all material activities and took shelter of the supreme safety, the personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A fully responsible man should always be conscious of the prime duty of present human form of life. The activities to meet the immediate necessities of material life are not everything. One should always be alert in his duty for attainment of the best situation in the next life. Human life is meant for preparing ourselves for the prime duty. Maharaja Katwanga is mentioned herein as a saintly king because even within the responsibility of the state management, he was not at all forgetful of the prime duty of life. Such was the case with other Rajashis, saintly kings, like Maharaja Yudhishthira and Maharaja Parikshit. They were all exemplary personalities on account of their being alert in discharging their prime duty. Maharaja Katwanga was invited by the demigods in the higher planets to fight demons, and as a king, he fought the battles to the full satisfaction of the demigods. The demigods, being fully satisfied with him, wanted to give him some benediction for material enjoyment. But Maharaja Katwanga, being very much alert to his prime duty, inquired from the demigods about his remaining duration of life. This means that he was not as anxious to accumulate some material benediction from the demigods as he was to prepare himself for the next life. He was informed by the demigods, however, that his life would last only a moment longer. The king at once left the heavenly kingdom, which is always full of material enjoyment of the highest standard. Coming down to this earth, took ultimate shelter of the all-safe personality of Godhead. He was successful in his great attempt and achieved liberation. This attempt, even for a moment, by the saintly king, was successful because he was always alert to his prime duty. Maharaja Parikshit was thus encouraged by the great sage Sukadeva Goswami, even though he had only 7 days left in his life to execute the prime duty of hearing the glories of the Lord in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. By the will of the Lord, Maharaja Parikshit instantly met the great Sukadeva Goswami, and the great treasure of spiritual success left by him is nicely mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is what we are everyday relishing, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That's why we have to drink the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam every day. So this here in this purport Prabhupada is mentioning. So one's responsibility is not only a material fulfilling or meeting the immediate necessities of material life, or not everything. This is getting a job, having a home, having wife and children, having a family, and eating and sleeping. That is not the life. There is a higher purpose of the life. This body would last very temporary. So one has to search for the highest truth, which is not available within these 14 planetary systems. तस्यैव हेतोः प्रेतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमताम् उपर्यतः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवद् अन्यतः सुखं कालेन सर्वत्र गभीररंहस. So Narada Muni says to Vyasadeva about what one has to search for. तस्यैव हेतोः प्रेतेत कोविदो न लभ्यते यद्भ्रमताम् उपर्यतः. Out of 14 planet systems, wherever you go, there everywhere it is eating, sleeping, and mating, and defending only these things with the name of Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So when Vyasadeva has written compile Mahabharata, and Narada Muni, he was also saying that chastising that you have once again encouraged them just to dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So, but it is Kali Yuga people, they would neglect all this dharma and moksha, but they would concentrate on only artha and kama only. So you compile Srimad Bhagavatam. So at that time, so this is what the instruction to Vyasadeva, and then he has compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranihiti Amale, and he has seen the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then Chakre Satpata Samhitam, and he has compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is, one has to search, it is not meeting the necessities of material life, it is not everything. One should always be alert in his duty for the attainment of best situation in the next life. And also, Katvanga Muni here, he is a very responsible king, responsible saintly king. And he has performed, so Pitruvad Ranjayan Prajaha, he ruled his subjects like a father. Pitruvad Ranjayan Prajaham. So this is also like a Maharaj Yudhishthira. And they were exemplary personalities on account of their being alert in discharging their prime duty. And also Maharaj Katwanga, he was so powerful. So there is a few beautiful information about Katwanga in the 9th canto. It is King Katwanga was unconquerable in any fight, requested by demigods to join them in fighting the demons. He won victory and demigods being very pleased. And it is some information is repeated here. So this is what Prabhupada has mentioned. He thought, not even my life is dearer to me than the Brahmanical culture and the Brahmanas who are worshipped by my family, the dynasty. What then is to be said of my kingdom, land, wife, children, and opulence? Nothing is dearer to me than the Brahmanas. So this is the actual, the saintly kings. So I was never attracted, even in my childhood, by insignificant things or irreligious principles. I did not find anything more substantial than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the demigods, the directors of the three worlds, wanted to give me whatever benediction I desired. I did not want their benedictions. However, because I am interested in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who created everything in this material world, I am more interested in the Supreme Personality of Godhead than in all material benedictions. Even though the demigods have advantage of being situated in the higher planetary system, their minds, senses, and intelligence are agitated by material conditions. Therefore, even such elevated persons fail to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is eternally situated in the core of the heart. What then is to be said of others, such as human beings who have fewer advantages? See, that is the reason Katwanga is so intelligent. He is not desiring for any heavenly material comforts. He was not bewildered by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what he says, I should engage in thought of the Lord and should thus surrender unto him. This material creation, having been created by the external energy of the Lord, is like an imaginary town visualized on a hill or in a forest. Every conditioned soul has a natural attraction and attachment for material things, but one must simply give up this attachment and surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. So, likewise, Maharaj Katwanga, by his advanced intelligence in rendering devotional service to the Lord, gave up false identification with the body full of ignorance. In his original position of eternal servitorship, he engaged himself in rendering service to the Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, Krishna, is extremely difficult to understand for unintelligent men who accept him as impersonal or void, which he is not. The Lord is therefore understood and sung about by pure devotees. So that is about very beautiful pastime of Maharaja Katwanga, how he was thinking, his thoughts is very inspiring to us. And Sukadeva Goswami is narrating about the Katwanga here to Parikshit. They're all exemplary personalities, being alert in discharging their prime duty. So this is very beautiful. And Maharaja Katwanga. So this is when a devotee, it is Swapnam Punar na bhajate Pratibuddha Vastuhu. This is Pratibuddha Vastuhu. He is when a person he attains his real identity, when he understands Siddho Vipasiti Yataha Adhyagama Swarupam, when he understands that Swarupam, then Swapnam Punana Bhajate, everything is like a dream. It is in a moments of time, days are being passed. Everyone's life is being stolen by the sunset and sunrise. It is very quickly, Prabhupada also mentions here. And so, Kshinote Devo Nimishastu Esham Ayurudhavadi Gati Smritina. Vidura says, I am very lamenting about these people. People, they are not taking advantage of Harikatha. Tan Socha Vidan, Tan Socha Sochan Vidhonu Soche, Harehe Katayam Vimukana Ghena, Chinoti Devo Nimishastu Esham, Ayurudhavadi Gati Smritinam. They are unnecessarily wasting time. I am looking about myself, but I am also worrying about all other people. They are Hare Katayam Vimukan again. They are not interested in the Harikatha. They are wasting all of their time. Chinoti Devo Nimishastuyesham Ayurudavadi Gati Smritina. Ruda. So it is all wastefully they are spending all the time. So that is but one has to realize, properly utilize the time. So that is very beautifully explained here. And Katwanga and also Maharaj Parikshit was thus encouraged by the great Sukadeva Goswami, even though he had 7 days left in his life to execute the prime duty of the hearing the glories of the Lord in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Pibata Bhagavatam Ratamalayam. This is, we have got this nectar now by the will of the Lord. Okay, so this is about it. From this one. So Katwango Nama Rajashi Jnatpe Yattam Yahayushaha Muhurtatwad Sarvam Usurja Gatavan Abhyam Harim. He has attained the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari. Likewise, Parikshit was encouraged. Now Parikshit has got 7 days. Is Parikshit has got 7 days? Do we not? We also have got 7 days. Sunday to Saturday, it is 7 days only. So everyone has got 7 days in that. I don't know how it has come, but we have got 7 days. Now here, further, Sukadeva Goswami is saying, what we can do with the 7 days. Tavapi tarhi kauravya saptaham jivitavadihi upakalpaya tat sarvam tavad yat samparayikam tavapi tarhi kauravya. So you're also therefore, O Kauravya, O one born in the family of Kuru, tavapi tarhi kauravya saptaham jivitavadihi. So you have got 7 days left in your life. Saptaham, the 7 days, jivitavadihi. So you're still up to the limit of the 7 days duration of life in your life. Upakalpaya tat sarvam. Upakalpaya tat sarvam. Get them performed. Tat sarvam, everything within those 7 days. Tavadyad samparayikam. And the rituals needed to be done for the next life, everything you can perform within these 7 days. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit, Tavapi etarhi kauravya saptaham jivitavadihi upakalpaya tatsarvam tavadyat samparayikam. So translation for this verse. Maharaja Parikshit, now your duration of life is limited to 7 more days. So during this time, you can perform all those rituals which are needed for the best purpose of your next life. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sukadeva Goswami, after citing the example of Maharaja Katwanga, who prepared himself for the next life within a very short time, encouraged Maharaja Parikshit by saying that since he still had 7 days at his disposal, he could easily take advantage of the time to prepare himself for the next life. Indirectly, the Goswami told Maharaja Parikshit that he should take shelter of the sound representation of the Lord for 7 days, still remaining in the duration of his life, and thus get himself liberated. In other words, everyone can best prepare himself for the next life simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, as it was recited by Sukadeva Goswami to Maharaja Parikshit. The rituals are not formal, but there are also some favorable conditions which are required to be carried out as instructed hereafter. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here this life is meant to antakale chamam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. Yah prayad samadbhavam yati nasi atra samsayah yam vapi smaran bhavam chajatyante kalevaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya. So this is Krishna says. So whatever the thing a person thinks in the last moments when he was leaving his body, everything what he has done, it will come into a picture in a few moments, and then he will take that summary, and then he would prepare the next body in the next life. As soon as he leaves, if he has dedicated himself to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and यदा रहितमात्मानं भूतेन्द्रिय गुणाशयैः स्वरूपेण मयोपेतं पश्यन् स्वराज्यमृच्छति. If one has completely transcended, then he would attain mayopetam swarajyam mruchati. Pasyan swarajyam mruchati. He will go to the Lord, and he would also engage himself in the Lord's devotional service in the spiritual planets. So that one has to utilize all, and also these favorable conditions which are required to be carried out. Like, so when we know certainly that there are only 7 days, we do the things necessary. But Maharaja Parikshit, he did not even eat and drink, and he did not spend wastefully time to anything else, just hearing only the. So here once Lord Brahma, after performing the tapasya, at that time the Lord has appeared in front of Brahma and asked, "Oh Brahma, I am very pleased with you. Ask whatever varam varya badram te vareshema abhivanchitam brahman shreya parishramaha pumsam mad darshanavadihi." You ask me all benedictions, whatever you want, but know that after performing so much of austerities and penances, getting me is the highest one. Brahman shreya parishramaha pumsam mad darshanavadihi. Attaining me is the topmost one. And he instructed. So here, when knowing Parikshit about that, he has got only 7 days. Again, sleeping, if he eats something, and to spend some time will be wasted. And for that one, again to cleanse the body, again some time will be there. And then so there are so many ways time will be wasted. So Parikshit, he knows that he should not drink, he should not eat, and completely dedicate himself to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the highest benediction to attain the supreme perfection of life. So that is other rituals. But here, so giving his kingdom to his children for the sake of the, it is the Sivaya Lokasya Bhavaya Bhotaye Ya Uttama Shloka Parayana Janaha. That is, a devotee always live for the other living entities' sake, or they're ever well wishers of all other living entities. So he has given the kingdom to his son Janamejaya, and make sure that all he has completed, and he has come to banks of the Ganges river for the Prayopavesa. And then among all these sages, he is now having association with Sukadeva Goswami to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So, and even those passing of the kingdom is a few required things for the well-being of the country, for the people's sake. It is not for his personal benefit. It is for the people's sake. So likewise, he has come and kept himself ready to hear all Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. So it is a very beautiful purport, and Prabhupada has given. Likewise, Sukadeva Goswami is encouraging Parikshit Maharaj. तवापि एतद्धि कौरव्य सप्ताहं जीवितावधिः उपकल्पय तत्सर्वं तावत् यत् साम्प्रदायिकम्. You have got enough time to perform all the rituals which are needed for the best purpose of your next life. So I stop here. So thank you so much, and I request dear devotees, kindly, if there are any mistakes, so kindly forgive me. If there are any questions, please kindly raise. If there are any corrections, please correct it. Hare Krishna. So, you can unmute to raise any concerns or questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you for the wonderful class. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Amogha Prabhu. Wonderful hearing you. Because you are so fluent, you've learned it so well. And so we are very fortunate to be here hearing from you. I have a question, but not directly related to these 3 verses about Shukadeva Goswami. In the first canto where it is said that Shukadeva Goswami was given this knowledge by Vasudev because he was already in the path of self-realization. And so that's why, so we understand that Shukadeva Goswami wasn't personalist. That's why Vasudev made the arrangement for him to hear the pastime of Krishna. That's when he was kind of for the knowledge of personal aspect of Krishna. And that's what you mentioned. So I understand Shukadeva Goswami was Radharani's parrot. So how could he be impersonalist? Because he knew everything about Krishna. So how was it that he was impersonal? Is that a right question, or am I making different? I don't know.
So just what I understand, Mataji. So your question is in the right mood. But what I understand, whether Sukadeva Goswami, when he was in the womb of his mother, Vyasadev's wife Bitika, for 16 years. As soon as he did not come out, that he is worried about this material world, he did not come out. But Vyasadeva has assured him. And later on, his mood was Brahmabhuta stage. So that means he doesn't have to relate to any of this material relative world. He is completely free from all these material attachments after hearing Srimad. But whether he has remembered that pastime or not, that is not mentioned here. Even though he was a parrot, he has entered. If whenever a person take a birth, for example, if we see some devotees, they beget children, the divine children, but they don't remember the past life, but they carry that consciousness.
Yes.
So even though he was liberated beforehand, but whenever he entered into the womb, and he carries that consciousness completely, Brahmabhuta consciousness. And he started from that point, 0 to, so generally Prabhupada says, until we need to bring to negative to 0 and 0 to positive. That is devotional service, rendering devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And later on that is developed. So that means we need to see the full picture. it is just only if we just see only that picture, like a few years after, as soon as he come out, and then he immediately leave the home, and Vyasdev was running behind his child. If we just see only that part, then it is just only Brahmabhuta stage, impersonal. If we see full life, he is a devotee. In everyone's life, we are also passing through that levels of stages. When we see the full picture, we become the pure devotee. That is the एतावद्येव जिज्ञासु तत्विज्ञासुनात्मनः अन्नमय व्यतिरेकाभ्यं यस्यात् सर्वत्र सर्वदा. That is the ultimate end after one is searching for so many other things. This is the fourth shloka of Chatushloki Bhagavata that Lord spoke to Brahma. That is the ultimate. So here, Sukadeva Goswami, he was already in the Brahmabhuta, but that is not the end. So still further. And then he was attracted by hearing the glories of Krishna and how he was Aho Bakiyam Stanakalukutam Jigam Saya Api. So that verse, Putana, and how he has liberated, how he has given shelter, Dhatri position in the Goloka to Putana, even though she has got a bad intentions.
So he was attracted with that verse.
That verse, and also Aho Bakiyam, another verse also, Barha Pitam Nataparavapu Karanayo Karanikaram. So that verse as well. So these two verses that I have heard, but I haven't gone to that 10th canto yet. So I am also a student of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thank you. So somebody, I mean, like Shukadeva Goswami, he was a self-realized person in this life. So, but they have to go again to come to that, if they come in this material world. So they won't get it. Sorry, what I'm just trying to understand it. So if you come to there, if you're already a pure devotee, previous life, so when you come to this, so you have to get that also, renew that. Is that what it means? Renew that to be kind of a fully know about, become from impersonal. You have to become personal in this life also. So you don't automatically get the things from the previous life to this life.
So yes, Mata. So this one has to a yogis bhojanma vipakvena samyak yoga samadhina drashtum yatante yatiyaha sunyagareshu yatpadam. After so many life, they will have to perform this yoga, just remembering the Lord, and then doing that, you're complete cleansing the mind. So many years, so many lifetimes. Bhojanma vipakvena samyak yoga samadhina drashtum yatante yatiyaha sunyagareshu yatpadam. So this was it coming from Kardama Prajapati. So likewise, one has to do, even Krishna says in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one has to do so many lifetimes like that. But whenever he comes to the devotional service, that needs to be understood. Esham Puntagatam Papam Jananam Punyakarmanam. By the time he has completely nullified all the sinful activities, even though he is managing himself or acting in the material activities for time being, it is just like just a cause, simple cause, but he would come to pure devotional service in the human body if he is real devotee, if he has done previous past pious activities in the devotional service.
Thank you for explaining. I'm really very, very obliged and grateful. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, so anything else? Okay, so if there are no, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Like, yes, Prabhupada said about liberation just for hearing, but it's only like Pariksit Maharaj who was like, without it. So for one to get that is very difficult, isn't it?
So Parikshit, he has heard 7 days, but with the focused mind. If we hear, do I give up all my family and focus on Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days? Am I ready to sit like that? You would get it, or we all get it. Everyone will get equal opportunity, but we are not ready to give up, knowing that then so many people will come and stop us. Are we ready? So are we prepared? Even though if I am prepared, would any people will make me to do like that? No, everyone will they just bring and tie into the home and tie to the family. It is very difficult. So the best thing, that's why Krishna said, execute devotional service. Sthane sitagadaha tanuvan manobhihi. So Prabhupada says to use that verse. So that is, one has to execute a devotional service in the same positions in the family. Woman is not allowed to go outside of the home, and staying at home, execute the devotional service as much as possible, render service to the husband and the spiritual master and deities. Look after the deities very nicely, change entire consciousness. Madhyashna, Darshana, Sparsha, Puja, Suti, Abhimandanaihi, and in the worshipping of the deities like that. Satvena, Asangamena cha, and completely pure from all impurities, and stay among the devotees. Likewise, we can become perfect in the family life. That is a benediction for many of these people. But people who are detached from them, their family circumstances are different. So who doesn't have cooperating partner in the home, they may be only for the men. They can leave the home for the perfection. If they have got all the, but women not allowed, old people are not allowed. Old people in the sense who cannot maintain their body like that. And women, children, they can stay at home, execute devotional service. So those are recommended. But yeah, those seven days, are we prepared or not? That we need to question ourselves. So it is very difficult. Yatagav nasi protaha tancham baddha damabihi. Vaktancham baddha namabihi. So this is Narad Muni says to Yudhishthira, everyone is tied up like a the cow is tied with a noose thread and a big rope and tied up to the big rod pillar, and then it cannot move. Likewise, everyone Vaktancham baddha namabihi, by the Vedic injunctions, everyone are tied up. Balim vaham ishituhu, vahanti balim ishituhu, everyone are tied up. So under the supreme directions. So we cannot escape from all these family relations, and so wherever we are, execute our material Swadharmacharanam Sekya Vidharmacha Nivattanam Daivalabdhena Santosha Atmavit Charanachanam. One has to execute his duty, Swadharma, according to his Sektya, Swadharmacharanam Sektya. Leaving all the Vidharmacha Nivattanam, bad activity, leave all the bad activities. Daivalabdhena Santosha, whatever is available to us, take it and go forward. And then Atmavit Charanachanam, and whoever knows and learn from them, and then execute a devotional service, attain the perfection. So that is the simple instructions for us to execute that what Prabhupada has given, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is also given about this Varnashrama Dharma. What is the best is the Brahmanas, and out of Brahmanas, who knows the Vedas, he is the best. Out of who knows the Vedas, who can explain those Haddajnopi Abhidhihatataha, who can explain those things, Veda meaning of the Vedas, he is the best. Out of those who can Addaja Samsaya Cheta, who can clear those doubts, he is the best. And then out of those things, who is performing those activities, acharana, then he is the best out of those people. And then better than them is the Mukta Sangaha Tato Bhuyan, who is completely free from all attachments to this material world. He is the best. Out of those, Adogdham Dharmamatmanaha, and who is the devotee, he is the best out of all these layers of the, he is the topmost. Tasmat Mayi. So that's why he says to Kapil Bhagavan says to Devahuti. So otherwise, Napasyami Param Bhotam Akattuhu Samadharshanat. So I don't see anyone better than that person who has given Mai Atpitatmanaha, Mai Sanyasta Karmanaha, who has devoted himself to me. I don't see better than anyone. So that is the best opportunity for us in this material world, wherever we are, in our home, with family members, execute devotional service. What is devotional service? Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakya prayachari. So that is simple. Krishna will be pleased with a small devotional service based on our circumstances. That is a very beautiful thing for us. We don't have to go anywhere. Just every day simply hear Krishna Katha. When we live, and we also be enlighten other people also. That is necessity. We do not have to look just about our liberation. No. Bharat Janma Bhumi Haite. What is that one?
ভারত ভূমিতে জন্ম হইল যার
Janma.
জন্ম সার্থক করি পরোপকার।
Yes, Paropakara. So we have to elevate ourselves and also help others. That is very, very important thing. So that's all. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hope that answers Meena Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Very nicely explained. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a nice class.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, apologies. So we have crossed a few minutes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice class. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the nice
Thank you,
class.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
What teaching?
Hare Krishna consciousness.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare